Hi friends, it's Becky, and I just got my dollar bead box for September 2025. This was just sitting in my mailbox. I didn't even get a shipping notification for this, y'all, so it was a big surprise. A happy surprise. Happy September. What a great way to kick it off, to start off the season of all of our bead subscriptions showing up. So if you would like to be surprised by this, if you're waiting for your dollar bead box and you don't want to be surprised or you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and hit save for later, save to watch later on this video. Come back after you get yours and you can see how I sort it. But if you want to see what's in it, keep watching because we're going to open this up and take a look at it. Dollar bead box is one of the least expensive bead subscriptions out there. It is a good value for money because you get a wide variety of checked glass beads that have been curated to go together with a theme. They didn't used to do a curation like this. It used to just be kind of random assortments, but then they started actually doing it towards a theme, which I absolutely love. And they have an add-on subscription that it's a really inexpensive way to add extra value to it. It's the dollar bead bag, and I subscribe to both. I get the dollar bead box and the dollar bead bag. The dollar bead bag is 8 strands of checked glass fire polish beads in 2 different sizes that go with the beads that are in your dollar bead box. So I'm going to be opening this up and I'm going to be organizing them into my 28 grid organizers. I like using these for this type of bead subscription where you get a wide variety of beads, and sometimes not in great amounts of each of those beads, or sometimes those beads are really small. So you have smaller spaces that you would need to have it, but then you have a lot more spaces that you can organize them into, especially with like little individual pockets like this, so you can just dump out that pocket when you go to design with it. But I like having all of the beads that I get in my bead boxes in an organizer so I can see everything all together. If I keep it in the dollar bead box, I will never use it. Like, I was a subscriber for so long before I figured out this, and I had just boxes with beads in it that I never ever used, and then I started organizing them with this, and I make so much more with it. So I'll have links to dollar bead box in the description below, as well as a coupon code you can use for some dollars off of your first subscription, and links to my organizers if you're interested in trying them out. They also have their retail site is dollarbeadclub.com. You do need to be a subscriber to Dollar Bead Box in order to shop there, or you can purchase a membership to their club if you don't want to be part of the subscription. But the subscription is really fun, so it's a great way to do that. But they have some really great prices for beads there, and I think it's a fun place to have. Like, everything's $1. Nothing's $1 anymore, guys, but everything's $1 there. All right, so we've got our dollar bead bag here. I'm going to turn that over in just a minute, but first let's take a look. I'm going to unfold this over here because there's usually a coupon code on here that you can use for some money in their retail site. Like, there we go, 10% off of buttons. They've got like tiara cast buttons. They've got some check glass buttons. I am definitely going to be heading over there and checking this out and maybe putting in an order. I put in a button order maybe a year ago with them, and I still have some of those, and I've used them in some of my designs. So I'm pretty excited about that because I love buttons. If you want to kidnap me, like, just roll up in your janky van and be like, I got buttons. And I'm like, I'm going to go with you, stranger. Anyway, let's see what we say about September 2025. Step into the season with a palette that's as cozy as it is captivating. The month features dreamy lavender, royal purple, and warm bronze, perfect for designs that echo falling leaves, golden sunsets, and a hint of magic. Whether you're crafting for calm or drama, these rich tones are your muse. September exclusive offer, again, is 10% off buttons, and that's going to be all the way through the end of October. And there is a little coupon code on there. And then we've got our list of the items in the dollar bead bag. There are some stranded items like this. Look at these purpley tones. And then we've got bagged items that come like this. And so I am going to go through my dollar bead bag first and then we'll do the stranded items, and then we will do our bagged items. And I usually like to sort as I go. If I just look at them and ooh and ah, I might not ever get around to sorting it. So as I open it, I like to get them into the containers. Where is my bead scoop? Because sometimes the containers are a little bit harder to get into than otherwise, and I definitely can use my bead scooper for this. I am going to find that and be right back. All right, so I've got my scoop, and let's look at our dollar bead bag. Again, these are fire polish beads that are curated to go with this. And we've got 4mm and 3mm fire polish beads. Sometimes you'll have the same color of bead in both the 3mm and the 4mm, which can make it really fun with your designing. Sometimes they will be different. You may notice on the packaging order on your sheet here a "or" on the listing. And that's because sometimes I won't have enough for everyone of one kind, so we'll substitute with another, like you've got crystal copper amethyst or vintage plum copper. It could be either one of those, matte rainbow bronze, or crystal half copper AB. So that's the different ways that we've got with this. Let's start with our 3mm strands. We've got purple copper lined Maria. I think that is this one right here. Oh, yep, purple with copper lining and a Maria on that. So you can see that purple color a little bit on there. These are really, really pretty. I like to get this up close to the camera using my ladybug dish so that the camera doesn't get confused and look at everybody but what we're looking at, but also so that the camera picks up just the colors of the beads that we're looking at and not all the colors of the everything else. All right, and this is why I got my bead scoop, so that I can unstring it, scoop it right in here into the organizer. All right, next one, we've got vintage purple luster. What's this one right here? I love that. This is absolutely some lilac-y tones. This vintage purple luster. The luster finish. And I always get questions about the bead scoop and where I got it. It came with my bead mats. I have the bead board and mat that I normally use. I'll put a link in the description below. But it came with that. You can get them on their own. But this one is the Hobby Worker brand. There we go. And these are the next two. So crystal copper amethyst or vintage plum copper. And there's also crystal copper Maria. I think this is the crystal copper Maria, and this one is crystal copper amethyst or vintage plum copper. I think this is crystal copper amethyst because the other one was vintage plum, vintage purple luster. And this is not a plum color, it is more crystal color. But you can see the purple highlights on there. I love this type of bead. And these are full strands of these beads. I believe with the 3mm it's something like, I don't know, let's count them actually, because I think with 4mm it's usually about 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. I was right in my head. I was like, it's got to be 50. It's usually 50. I didn't say it out loud, but my head said it. All right, and these are the last one. These are the Crystal Copper Maria. And I love this Maria finish on these beads because it's like, it's exactly sunset tones. It is one of my favorite colors is sunset. Which, like, that doesn't make any sense, Becky. Yes, I know. But also it makes perfect sense. Look how beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to set those in here and pull out the next 4 so we can get our 4mm, because those were all the 3mm fire polish beads, and here are our 4mm fire polish beads. And these are so sparkly, my friends. We are going to have so much fun with sparkly things in this design, or in this this box. So we've got purple copper lined Maria. That's these guys here. We had this same color in 3mm. You can see the purple a little bit easier with the size here. These are a little bit bigger. It is a darker purple, but I love that it's copper lined. That's one of my favorite things, is when things have a copper lining. All right, then we've got some crystal blue Zaret. Is that this one? It might be. Green gold lined or crystal metallic light rhubarb. I think that's the green gold lined. Matte rainbow bronze or crystal half copper. Okay, so this would be the crystal with the blue Zaret. That's that blue Zaret. Sometimes it's a process of elimination to figure out which one the color is, if it's not one that you're familiar with. All right, and then this is an or. There's either green gold lined Maria or crystal metallic light rhubarb. And I can see a lining on here. So this is green glass with a gold lining and a Maria finish. And you can see that Maria finish just glinting there. Sunset colors. I love that it's this light green as well. I wonder what the rhubarb looks like, because that sounds kind of amazing. Probably would be, I'm guessing, some reds and greens together. There we go. So if you got the rhubarb ones, and this is, usually these are 24, not 25 for the 4mm strands. That's like the normal strand amount that you find for fire polish beads. It is all the sunset colors. And then this is crystal half copper AB. So you can see that AB finish. AB stands for Aurora Borealis, so you can get the greens and the blues and the purples all shining off from there on that. And that copper gives you more sunset color to go with your AB. All right, so that is all of our dollar bead bag beads. And again, it's a very inexpensive way to extend the life of this bead subscription, to just have that as your add-on. All right, I'm putting those away, and let's pull out another little organizer section for our stranded selections. All right, we've got check glass pearls. That's these guys right here. This is a 25 piece pearl. Wait. Is this a pearl or are they? No. I think they're calling this a pearl, but it's a oval lavender, because they've got two different sizes. We've got these small 3x5 millimeter. It just says check glass pearl on it, which is why I thought this was it. It's more like a rice shape. It's lavender. This is 25 pieces for the 3x5 millimeter. And then we've got 4x6 millimeter, also lavender, and there's 20 pieces on this strand. So let's get these guys organized side by side in here. Yeah, I'd call these rice beads rather than pearls, but I'm not the person in charge of naming them. Okay, and then we've got some check glass gem cut rondelles. That's these guys right here. And it is purple or purple travertine. I am not seeing any travertine on this, so it's going to be just purple on this, and it's 25. They are 3x5 millimeters. And then we've got some either 6 or 4 millimeter check glass pearls in Mystic Purple. This is not a 4 millimeter size. This is a 6 millimeter size, and so there are 20 pieces on here. If you got the 4 millimeter size, they're going to be smaller, and you're going to have 40 pieces on this strand. This is another or selection. So you could either get this one or the smaller beads. All right, and 2 more. We've got some 6 millimeter fire polish beads. These are either matte bronze hematite or vintage plum copper. This is vintage plum copper. You can see that plum color in there. And then we've got the copper wash over the top of it. All right, and let's get these pinch beads up. These are 4x5 millimeter check glass pinch beads. They are either purple caramel or purple caramel luster, and I can see a luster finish on this, so I'm going to call these purple caramel luster. And there's a lot of variety in here with these. Now, one of the best things that you can do with pinch beads like this, in my opinion, is use them in a beaded chain. And September is the month that I like to do a little challenge called the Beaded Chain Challenge, where I make at least 2 beaded chains each week using my bead boxes or maybe my my stash or something like that. It's a really great way to expand your skills if you're not really used to making links with craft wire or something like that. I'll have in a little bit, probably sometime this week, a little intro to beaded chain video where I go over some of my favorite links and we'll make some stuff together. But I am probably definitely going to be using these in a beaded chain because they just look great on a link. It's just one of those like teeny tiny little delicate links, and pinch beads are fantastic ways for dressing those up. All right, so we are done with our stranded selections. I'm going to leave this out so that I can put a couple of the bagged selections in there. Let's pull these guys out so that I can find them easier. We have something that is 15 millimeters in size. And it says it is a check glass Y bead. Why not? Aha, there we go. It's this one right here. It is lavender with the travertine finish. There is one of these in this box. So we're going to have actually several that are the same type of coloring as this. The lavender with travertine in here. One of those are these bellflowers. They are 8 millimeter bellflowers. They're also the lavender with travertine. What's these guys here? And next we've got the tabular rectangles. They're 8 by 12 millimeters. There's 2 of these. There were 8 of those, by the way. There's 2 of these. Whoop. And they are also the lavender with travertine. Now let me just get my next little section open so that I can get this guy put away. Sometimes when I get 2 like this, I'm like, oh, perfect. Just the right amount to make earrings with. I think those are really fun to do. Next we've got brass nuggets. These are 5 millimeters. There are 12 of them. And I don't have metal content, but this is the nugget shape where it's kind of thicker on one end and not at the other. These will make for some really fun spacers and things, maybe for a bracelet. I think those would be great spacers in a bracelet because they might help with the curvature of the bracelet and having it settle correctly between some of the beads. Next we've got a check glass rose. It is opaque violet. It's 18 millimeters. It looks like we've also got a gold wash on this. It's coin shape. It's got a hole through it lengthwise. Oh, you are okay, my sweet Ellen. Ellen would like some of my attention, but I'm almost done here, so she can. Alright, so then we've got a check glass flower. It is white opal, and there is 1 piece. And I'm just holding it out away from the plate so you can see through it a little bit. Let's bring it up closer. I love this. This is going to make an amazing focal on a necklace design. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll get a small bead in the middle there. We'll do a loop up here. We'll get some things hanging down from it. It's going to be gorgeous. I already have plans for this. Already have plans. Just wait. Just wait. All right. Then we've got some check glass drooks. That's these guys. Drook just means round bead. That's all that is. This is 6 millimeters, and you get an or on this. It's either matte violet rainbow or matte gunmetal. And this does not look like gunmetal to me. This definitely looks like we've got a matte violet rainbow. So we've got some differently colored beads on here. These guys are not open yet. There we go. All right, now we've got a 14 millimeter check glass button bead. I love these button beads. I always think of them as brain beads, but I also think of yarn ball beads as brain beads too. I don't know why. Everything just reminds me of brains sometimes. But these are really fun. They've got that vintage button pressing. They're coin shaped and they are really pretty. And again, this is pink with an AB 2 times. So pink AB double finish. There's 2 of those in here. And again, those will be great for earrings. Then we've got some check glass fire polish beads. That's these guys here. This is etched crystal. They're 8 millimeters in size, and there's 12 of them. So this etched crystal kind of gives you a worn look. Maybe it gives you kind of a frosty effect. Especially when they are so different. This one's more crystal-y, this one's more opaque. Why was that not open? Let's get these guys in there. And then we've got a check glass flower beads. That's these ones here. It is lavender with copper wash. 14 millimeters. There's 2 of them. These are sweet and simple. Both sides. And again, great for earrings. And we've got 2 more selections. We've got check glass twisted rondelles. That's these guys here. This color is dark mauve or mauve, depending on how far north you travel on the American continent. And they are 6 by 8 millimeters in size. And these are some check glass cabochons. They are 14 millimeters in size, and the color on this is crystal heliotrope. I'm going to turn one of them over so you can see the back, and you can see how it is flat completely on the back, and then this other one is domed. It has a raised dome like this. I've done some bezeling of cabochons with y'all before. Look how pretty these are. I'm thinking I might wire wrap these cabochons just to fit in with my challenge for September. I've done bead weaving bezels with cabochons, and I will link to those videos that I did with Dollar Bead Box before. Some of those other ones here, let me actually, I've got one just within reach. This was some cabochons that we got with Dollar Bead Box, and I just added some 11-0s and then used some of the fire polish beads that came with it in order to bezel it and make a bead weaving design with it. But let's try wire wrapping these guys this time and just have some real fun with it and add them to the beaded chain that I'm going to be making. Or maybe we'll wire wrap them and turn them into earrings. since there's 2 of them. How fun will that be? All right, let's get these in here for now. And then let's take one last look at this subscription. There we go. So you can see all of those beads together. I love this. This is a really beautiful palette that we can create from. We've got some light crystally icy colors, we've got our purpley colors, we've got our sunset colors, and it is all just going to go together really well. And I am really looking forward to making with this. I will again include links in the description below to the bezeling that we did. It would be very easy to do that pattern with these cabochons. If you wanted to follow that, just add your own 11/0 seed beads, and of course use some of the fire polish beads that came in this if you wanted to do one of those. And I will be, again, watch for my bead chain challenge that's coming up this month, so we can make some fun things and we can get more practice doing wire working and making links, because it's something that I was not very great at until I challenged myself and said, just make 2 a week, and my skills grew. And so I really want to help y'all do that if you're a little intimidated by doing links. If you are like, I don't know how to do wire wrapping, I can't do my wrap loops, or my simple loops are always wonky, or something like that, do it with me and you'll get so much better just by doing. That's all I have to say about that. And, again, check out Dollar Bead Box. They are one of my favorite bead subscriptions. And again, they are one of the more frugal ones, so it's not super expensive and you get all of these beads. Until next time, my friends, happy beading.